Hey there folks, time once again to do some retro CSS battles. These are daily targets from the past with a plus membership at CSSBattle.dev. You can look at these and play with them, and they're pretty fun. This is June 11th, June 12th, and June 13th of 2024. Let's get right to it. All right, what do we got here? So the blank template, my plugin creates a paragraph tag, and I think this is 4 paragraph tags that are very similar but not the same. Okay, so let's put the orange on the background, and let's create the first one of these shapes, which is a pretty specific shape. I think it's got a linear gradient coming in from the side, and you can do to left, right, or from right, but I just choose to do 90 degrees. So we do the yellow, and then it's transparent because we're just gonna let that orange show through, comma, and then the orange color again. And so let's, and obviously we need color stops that will create those hard edges. For now, we don't have them. So let's do, and we're gonna need margins between each one. So it might be helpful to do 2 of these. Let's, and then let's set margin. Each one of these is gonna need a margin on it. Margin of 0. I think they need to be centered. Yeah, they need to be centered. So I think we might need margins on the body as well. So I'm going to do P plus P to represent like the next item so that I get the separation. So margin, in that case, is going to be, some distance between. And that's how we get that. So let's, and I think we just use the word 10 there. Margin and margin auto. Yeah, it's because they're centered, right? Okay, so let's do 10, 40, too much, 30, 35, and then I think we need a width because each one of these has a slightly different width, I think. Yeah, so width is 200, let's say, to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 90, 300, 320, 325, 26, 27, 28, 29, 330. Okay. And then the height is still a little too tall. Is it half as tall as that? 50? Okay, and then this margin 10 auto is probably going to be like 5. Oh, is it 10? Oh. Or do we need like a minus number? Minus 5, minus 20. So this makes me think, okay, hold on. 30, 25, so 25. Okay, so that seems to be putting things in the right place. Let's create those color stops while we're thinking about exactly how we're going to do these margins, because we might need to change margins on the body as well. If we can avoid it, I'd like to avoid it. We could do that by doing a display grid and then aligning things, but okay, let's do these color stops. Let's say 100 pixels 0, then it's a hard edge, and then I think it's another one of these 120 pixels and then 0. Okay, so that's not, it's like 10 pixels wide. So let's, I think it's 200 over and 210. Is that a match? That is a match. So that's great. And then for giggles, we'll create the width of this as well. Width as 200. 240, 50, 60, 290. Oh, 290. 300. 310. There it is. So 310 is the second one. Okay. Does this mean that if I make another 2, which we need, that the margins are correct? No, those margins are not correct. And so The difference between this is 10, so I think what we want is a margin of 10 auto. And that gives us the spacing we want. But we need margin on the body then. Margin of 20 or something. 20. Let's see what we get. Hopefully, 3. We can do that cleanly. There we go. So a margin of 35 does it. And that's not pushing anything in, so that's really good. But it means also that I think we want, okay, so var, the width is the thing that changes. I think because of the way I've created this gradient, that it's 200 over, and right, these are all, this first block is all the same width, then I think it's going to be okay. So W, comma, 330, and then I'm going to use attributes B, C, and D. My browser is not behaving very well right now. I think I'm running into some resource issues, unfortunately. Also, I just accidentally submitted. Not great. So yeah, browser misbehaving. So B is 310. C is maybe another, so the width is 330, 310, minus 3, we'll do dash W of 190? No, 290. Haha. There's math. D and dash W is 270. And that might create a match. So I'm going to variabilize this other W and submit and make sure that we got a solution. So yeah, margin on the body, and then using auto for the inline margins. Inline? I just get confused about inline versus side margins, but left and right margins are auto in this case. Okay, so let's minify, unit replace, so resubmit, and we have accomplished that that next one, and that's great, and that's a new score, new high score, so that's great. Let's go here, and then I'm actually going to check, you can't see this, it's on another screen, this other, I'm going to close this other browser window, which may be doing stuff. No, it's no good. Browsers, too many web pages open. All right, next, let's do this. I'm firing up the blank template, but really I just want to do this on the body, I think. And so I'm just going to do one layer at a time. So linear gradient, or radial gradient. So from the out in, I think. Is that how I want to do it? Let's do it in out. Let's do the one thing at a time. So how about a conic gradient that's transparent, 75% around, this blue color, 0. So that's how you create a little square. So we do at 40 pixels, 40 pixels, and then we move it with background position, 100 pixels, 100 pixels. Let's just put that where we want to put it. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then down 10, 20, 30. Okay, and that's our first one. And we just need to do that how many times? A whole bunch of times. Hilarious. Okay, so I'm going to put black on the background here because I want to be super clear about what I create. So next I'm going to do the thing around it, which is a radial gradient. And so I need the keyword circle. And it's underneath, right? So think of these as layers. And 50 pixels transparent. Okay, and then 100 pixels, and we're going to do the outer blue edge, 0. So we're going to make we want to align those color stops. 60, yeah, 60 is good. And then this other circle is a little further out. 3, 4. So now we've got that much. Now, not totally visible to see, but is the last thing then we need another conic gradient. So it's 3 conic gradients. So let's do another one and do, and then move that 100. Okay, and then 50. And okay, so then now we have that same kind of block. Now I'm going to put white on the background. White on the background. And then if we make this wider, 6, 7, 8, 9, 200, and 200. And is that a solution? So 3 gradients to create those shapes, each one on a successive layer. All right, and so what can we do? I like using percentages if I can. Oh no, I can't. 200 pixels. Oh, not percent, it's 50%. 50%. So I'm trying to see if I can optimize some of those. And then I'm going to use my unit replacement plugin and then my minify plugin and do a final submission. And they worked in this case. So that's a legit solution. All right, what's the next one? So I believe I did this. So see how we used several layers of paragraph tags here. Here, I feel inclined to attempt the nested template, which is using the HTML and body tags alone to create this shape. So I'm going to use margins and narrow this in. I'm going to put white on the background to start with. And by using margins, we're shrinking that body tag. And then I'm going to use a conic gradient with white, 75% around, and it's going to be in the upper corner, 0, 0 background position. It's going to be, I'm going to say 100 pixels by 100 pixels. And then I'm going to put transparent. And that gets you that, or it gets me that. So let's do a no repeat, because I would like this to be as wide as this. So you can see this would be the bottom right corner of this pattern. So let's make it wider. 3, 4, 35, and then downward 2, 3, and then with an at do 40 pixels again. So probably more like 80 pixels. 85 pixels over, and then oh, actually, is that the one I want? You know, that's what I want. And then down 100, and 100 is right. So then if I let that repeat, that gets me across. And I still have a transparent background, so if I put black there, you can see it. So let's do another conic gradient, and we'll just type it out, which also has a width, but this one is transparent, 75% around, and then white. And we need a comma between each successive layer. And then if we move this over with background position, 50 pixels, that moves it over a little. Is that the right amount? And then down 20 pixels, 30, 40, and it needs to be bigger. So then we add an at 40 pixels, 40 pixels. I'll just keep doing that 40 pixels, even if it's completely wrong. 140, 120, and then 140, 140, 150, and 60. So 2 conic gradients. So this is, again, my favorite of the gradients is the conic gradient. And that seems like a good match. I'm hopeful that's a good match. Let's minify and unit replace and resubmit, and that is a solution. And so that's how we do these daily targets from the past. Looks like I've done better than this in the past. That makes me wonder whether, is there a better way to do this? Do I want to see? Let's take a look. Let's do paragraph. Again, the paragraph thing. The margin between is 0 and their auto. Their background is white. So that we have 1 right now. 2, 3, so 30. Height is 35, 40, and width is 40, 50. Okay, and then we've got 2 more. And we have 4 more. So these are 4 layers. Each one of these is a different layer. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the second one has, the second and fourth ones have different attributes. So we do a B, and he's got a width of 80. No, 100, 130, and a height of something different. Height of 80. Too tall. How about 60? And a width of 140. No, 120. And then this middle guy, C, his width is wider. Is it 200? Is it 210? 220? This is another way to solve the problem. If we variabilize var dash dash h or 40, and then var dash dash w or 50, then we can replace these dash dash w and dash dash w. And the height is dash dash h. And let's go ahead and we'll preemptively minify and then resubmit. And that's another solution. Are there things to tune there? If we remove, so I'm going to undo that. If I don't choose a width, then the widths default to encompassing the whole margin space. So if I add a margin to change the max, I do 50, 80, 90. So there's 90. So that means the default is going to be, well, it's going to be what it is. But I think that means that I can then remove this C attribute. Yep, I can. Which means that the B attribute also will change a bit. Margin auto is still the same, but it means I need to make this a variable, var dash dash m or 0 and then auto. So then this is defaults to 40, no, this then defaults to Wrong. This is, aha, so it's, I have it backwards. It's, the margin is 0, and then the side margins defaulting to 0. And so B, maybe we do, no, yeah, yeah, we need a value here. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 85, which means we will need a C attribute, and that margin there is 0. That's what we've got now. So B's margins, we no longer have a width that we need to set, but we need to set an M. M of, let's try 30. Okay, 3 and 4, 5. And then let's go ahead and preemptively minify and submit that version. So now we're not setting any widths, but we are setting margins. We have to set something to control the sizing on those things. Is that it? There are other ways to do this for sure. Do I want to do more? No, we did the content grading technique and then the paragraph technique with 2 different ways to specify the widths and heights. I'm content with that. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. You know, it's rough out there for everybody. Please take care of yourselves and go make a webpage. Web pages are really great. Unsung heroes of the internet, where individuals can share of themselves and meet other people, and it's pretty cool. Yes, there of course are dangers on the internet. One must be careful about things, but there's no harm in making cool stuff on the web. All right, bye-bye.